What's going on, everybody? Oh, I just realized I don't have my light on. Okay, there we go. Yes, that's better. Welcome to episode 160 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. My name's Dave McRae, coming to you live from the VoiceMann Studios in Toronto, Canada. He's Tony Michael in Atlanta, Georgia. It is Monday, July the 25th, 2022, 6:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Halloween Ends teaser trailer again. Hey, you haven't heard what Tony thinks. This is a Two Dudes show on it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live! I always got to get the we are live right before that big crescendo moment. Episode 160, Halloween Ends trailer again? Yes, yes. They're talking about it again, and you're watching again.
Well, to be fair, which this is full disclosure, this will actually be, we're gonna watch it live because this will be my second time watching it. I've only watched the trailer once. I've been busy with work. That's why we're late, because I got stuck in Atlanta traffic coming from a job, and
it happens.
So
it happens. You're a busy dude.
It's just been a busy week.
That's
so
it.
I did watch it once, yeah, let's get into this.
Yeah, we will. So yeah, obviously the trailer was supposed to drop last Wednesday. It didn't. It dropped Tuesday night because of a leak, so they got ahead of it. And all last week was crazy. I was doing videos on it. Other people were doing videos on it. Of course, there was Hallow Stream on Saturday night, myself. And
I'm disappointed, though. You promised me 48 and you only gave me 4.
48 and 4?
48 videos.
Oh,
I told Dave, I said, Dave, I fully expect between now, from the time we do our show in 1 week, I want 48 Halloween trailer videos.
That's right. And I should have.
You fell short by about 44.
I did, but what can I say? And then of course there was the Hallow Stream.
You and Wham did about the same amount, 5 or 6.
Yeah, well, yeah. For sure. So. Well, there's only so much you can do. It is a teaser after all. I mean, we can start analyzing, the characters' nose hairs in the trailer if you want, but that's a whole other video. And then, of course, there was the Hallow Stream Saturday night. Myself, Jimmy Champagne, the Wham guys, Lee McCoy, and Barry from Wolfman's Got Nards. That was a lot of fun. Always like hanging out with them and talking Halloween. And here we are. We haven't had a chance to talk about it. So that's why we're doing our Two Dudes episode on it. And like I said, you're watching. You're talking, and you're watching. As Obi-Wan Kenobi says, who's the more foolish, the fool or the fool who follows him?
Well, it's cool that, I'm watching it a second time with everyone on the stream, and this will give, I can kind of take a beat for a moment here and actually watch it and get into it. Because like I said, over the last week, I just have not had the time to do all of that and dissect it and look at different nuances that you were pointing out before the stream. And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even notice.
Exactly. So, and that's fair. Yeah. So yes, I have talked about this ad nauseum. I've done my coverage on it, right? Those videos are on my channel, but this is the Two Dudes show. And we haven't done a Two Dudes show yet on the Ends trailer. And Tony and I haven't had a chance to talk about it yet. So here we are. And Tony wants to watch it again because he's only seen it once. So we're going to watch it live here. Again, I'm going to put the volume down. I don't want to get dinged by Universal. They tend to be, you know what I'm saying? A little persnickety.
If I have the volume up, though, is that fine?
Is it going to come through your headphones?
Well, hold on. Let me hit play for a minute.
It should come through your headphones. If it comes through your headphones, that's fine.
Do you hear it?
No.
Okay, I think we're good.
Yeah. But so I am going to put the volume down low, or at least mute it, but I'll have it playing just because I kind of want to avoid any dings if possible during a live stream. So let's get into it. Let's talk about this and watch. Let's watch it once all the way through. Okay, sure. Without stopping, and then we'll go back and we'll watch it again, and I'll give you sort of what I think and
things things
that I've heard and what's out there and all that kind of stuff, and we'll see what the chat's got to say. And if you have any super chats that you want to get in, if you want your question guaranteed an answer, the super chat is the way to go for obvious reasons. Feel free to get those in now if you want, and Tony and I will get to them, of course, when we get to the Q&A portion of the show. Okay, so let's jump over to the other screen. 1 second here. There we are. Okay. Tony, are you still with me there? Let me check audio. Tony, check. Okay, you are there.
Oh, do. Wait.
Yep.
Take the. I can't fucking talk. I'm tired. Take your video off and put your.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. 1 second here. Let me just stop video on this. There we go.
There we go. All right, we're good.
Perfect. Okay. Hang on. Let me just wind up a little bit. Oh, I wonder why that moved. Hang on a sec here. Trying to get you more even. Okay. Moved around for some reason. Okay, here we go. You ready, Tony?
Let's roll.
All right. Muted in 5, 4, 3. And again, we're just going to watch it all the way through. No stopping. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Here we are. It's kind of got a...
There's Rachel and Jamie's house!
You want to know something, though? The first time I saw this, I thought that looked like the Carruthers house.
I didn't catch it until someone pointed out to me in a DM, and I went back, or I didn't go back, but he sent me the screenshot of it, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
I like this though. Yeah, I do like it. POV shot, very reminiscent of the original. Yeah, for sure. It's got a lot of that old school vibe to it. Area's opening the door, and there's Laurie dressed as 1978 Laurie. Oh, WWE. A lot of screaming and yelling, a lot of quick cuts. As far as teaser trailers go, it's good. It's a good teaser trailer. Solid. If you want, questions about the story and all that kind of stuff, well, you're not going to get it, but. There it is. Again, if you're just tuning in, yes, the volume is down because I don't want to get dinged by Universal. They're less likely to ding you if the volume is down. All right. Although they can do whatever the hell they want. Okay, so let me just... All right, so let's jump back over to the other screen here. I just noticed
when you said, now that it's done, let me just skip along here because I got it paused. Said it. Double check it. She's cosplaying as herself.
Oh, I know. Some people have...
I didn't. Oh, and I just see the pumpkin behind her. That's the OG pumpkin. Looks like the OG pumpkin.
It does a little bit. Yes, it does.
May not exact because I have a replica of the OG. No, because there's a split on the nose on the OG pumpkin.
Right.
That doesn't look, and there are teeth on the sort of teeth on the old.
Well, I think it's the pumpkin that she carved with Tommy and Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Right. Which ended up being the pumpkin, I think, in the opening credits, if I'm not mistaken, but it might have been stylized a bit differently for those credits, perhaps. I'd have to go back and sort of brush up on that. But okay, so we've watched the trailer through. Now, we had this conversation just before we went live, and we've sort of been talking about this. The viewers out there know about this. I've been talking about it on my channel for the last, week or so. I waited to address it after the teaser trailer because I wanted to watch the trailer first. And for a while now, there have been rumors coming from sources out there, not my sources, but, things being shared that Halloween Ends, and this is before the test screenings, Halloween Ends is going to focus heavily on a character by the name of Corey. And that character is played by, I forget the actor's name now, but is played by this actor. And of course, there wasn't a teaser yet. There wasn't a synopsis yet. We don't know. But there was one photo of this actor on the set of Halloween Ends with Jamie Lee and Andy Matichak. And I thought, okay. And people were asking me about it and sending me DMs. Dave, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? Oh my God, what do you think of this? Do you think this is true? And I didn't want to address it because I wanted to wait and see. I didn't want to put all this effort into this rumor if it turned out to be, ridiculous, like the rumor that Michael dies in the first 5 minutes of the movie. I don't want to put all this effort into this thing if, there's no validity to it. And so the teaser trailer came out last week, and sure enough, there is a guy by the name, or a character by the name of Corey in this movie. And he is, in fact, played by the said actor where the rumors were coming from. And
question.
Yeah.
Is Corey's girlfriend Topanga and best friend Sean in this as well too?
It could be. Yes, it could be.
I'm sorry. I hear the name Corey.
I know. Well, but he lives next. He lives next door to Mr. Feeney.
Mr. Feeney.
Yes.
Feeney!
That's it. Okay. So now, of course, we get the synopsis. Corey Cunningham is the character's name. And people want to know, why are you putting so much stock into this? Why are all these channels putting so much stock into this? And it's because Corey and actor playing Corey was just as much a rumor as the information surrounding Corey. Well, now it's been confirmed. There is a character named Corey. And that actor that was supposedly playing him, and he wasn't listed anywhere, is actually playing him. So my thing is, well, if that is true, then maybe some of the rumors surrounding the story and the character are also true. It could also be the truth lying somewhere in the middle, which more often than not is the case with these kinds of things. And what are some of those things that surround, or that have not been confirmed yet, but some of those things that do surround this Corey character? Well, some of the things are that the movie focuses heavily on him. That this is sort of like about a guy that goes down the wrong path and he becomes obsessed with Michael Myers, maybe even possessed by him, not literally perhaps, although you never know, but maybe he wants to sort of, try it. He dresses up as Michael, and who knows, or he's like all these types of things. And then I think about what David Gordon Green said about going to John Carpenter with that draft and saying, hey, John, is this a little too Christine? Now, months and months ago, everybody in the chat room, myself, everybody was like, what the hell does that mean? Like, where does that correlation fall into play, right? And we were speculating, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's this. And now these rumors are, well, his name's Corey Cunningham. The character in Christine is Arnie Cunningham. Okay, so you have this other, there's kind of a tip of the hat there. Arnie was obsessed with the car. He was kind of a nerdy guy. There was this transformation. He became, quote unquote, possessed by the car. What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. So do you have this character, Corey? So there's some parallels. Maybe he becomes infatuated with Michael because he's supposedly, another rumor is that he's supposedly either Allison's boyfriend or a love interest or whatever the case is. Maybe he's obsessed with it. He wants to know all about it. So he goes looking for Michael, and maybe that's the parallel and the angle. And it's not that Michael's not in the movie. He's in the movie, but some people there's been rumors that he's not in the movie as much as you might like or think that he's in. And maybe he doesn't show up really till this. We don't know. So all this right now, I know there's test screenings that people say, but in terms of being confirmed by like the studio or actors.
What are people saying in the test screening?
People are saying that, there were people that saw it and said there were two versions of the movie. Likely what that means is that there's two versions of the film with two different endings, because you're not going to watch one version of the movie and then watch a different version of the movie and the movie is like 90% different. That would mean they'd have to have shot an entirely different movie parallel with the other movie they were shooting. Generally speaking, when you watch a test screening, if there are two versions, they are playing generally the same movie, but with two different endings, because they want to see sort of, and we do know that they went out to reshoot for 4 days, some of the stuff with the ending of that movie. So they kind of want to see what plays well. I've heard rumors that the movie played well. I've heard rumors that one version of the movie didn't play well. Test screenings are arbitrary at best because, we have had examples of bad test screenings to great movies, great test screenings to bad movies. You have to take it with a grain of salt, but those rumors are out there. So it did come true that there is a Corey and he is in the movie and he is played by that actor. So that's why myself and maybe others have put so much stock now into this, because it's like, well, is this other stuff true? And we look at some of those details in the teaser trailer and they don't deny it. They just only help to confirm it, although circumstantial. So I don't know, man. You want to walk through it and kind of look at some of this stuff here? And I'm interested to get your thoughts on it as well. First of all,
yeah, let me kind of piggyback off
sure.
This Corey thing, because I'm sorry, I Corey Topanga. I can't separate it, because Boy Me, I love that show.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Great show.
Great show.
So anyways, they've got to be careful here, because one, if it's the obsession part of it, that could work. This depends on the execution, obviously. The possession thing.
By the way, sorry, Tony, I just want to interrupt. Riley here says, like Dave making 1,000 predictions at once to hit the target properly. Those aren't my predictions, dude. Those are actual rumors connected to this character coming from the same people that told you there was a character in this movie by the name of Corey. Everything I told you here is not coming from me. I'm not making these predictions. These are things that are coming from the people that told you months ago there's a guy by the name of Corey and he's played by that actor. And there was no evidence for it, and it came true. So I just want to make that clear. These are not my predictions. These are what I just told you about obsessed with Michael and this kind of stuff and the Christine angle. That comes from David Gordon Green, not me. So I just want to be clear that these are not my predictions, right? And I'm throwing everything, and the kitchen sink at the wall, hoping something listen, we got this covered. Okay, so I don't know if you're new here or not, Riley, but I just want, to be clear that that's not what I do. I'm just telling you the other stuff that surrounds, that is out there and that, we might want to think about this a little more. But the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. Tony, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's cool. So I was starting to talk about the possession thing. I hope they don't go down that road, because we saw the telekinesis connection thing with Jamie and Michael in Halloween 5. It's, even though there are fans of Halloween 5, the overall, it's a shit show of a movie and it's not really well received, but there are the handful ones out there that do like it. I think they're tiptoeing in an area. If the possession thing, if there's some type of link, between Michael and him, like they said, Christine, between the car and, the kid, in that movie, if they tiptoe along that a little too close and it becomes that, well, then it goes back to what I said, I don't know what it was, like a week or two ago on one of our streams, where the whole point of David Gordon Green taking over the franchise and starting from the original was, he didn't like where the franchise went to and they wanted to omit everything. Well, they've pretty much done everything but that. They've done exactly, you know what I mean? They've gone back and rehashed, whether it's kill scenes or ideas that were executed in the sequel. Sorry. That's my agent texting me. And now this would even be more of a, we've seen something like this before in Halloween 5. However, now, if there's no possession, none of that shit attached to it, if it's a copycat and it's because someone who's obsessed with Michael Myers, well, now I'm open-minded, because look, I said this last week, I'm a huge fan of Friday the 13th Part 5. Love it. It is on script, on paper. It is a great Friday the 13th film. It gives you everything you want in a Friday the 13th movie. Great kills, lots of boobs, disposable characters. It's just, that's the formula of a Friday the 13th movie. Even though it's not Jason doing the killing, the kills are fucking great. Yeah. And it's one of those movies in the franchise that has grown on me. So I can't come at it already and be like, oh boy, what the fuck? There's a copycat killer and it's not. Well, hold on. It's not so far-fetched too, especially in the day and age that we live in, where I do think sometimes people don't understand that this is a movie. Mm-hmm. And I think there are people out there who can get lost into this stuff and cross that line from fantasy to reality. So if executed in that way, I'm intrigued. I'm curious to see what you do. But if you go into the possession thing,
look, I agree with you, and I'm the first person to say that at the end of the day, a story can look great on paper. It can look kind of wishy-washy on paper. It's important that when you are obviously pitching to a studio or a producer, you want it to look great on paper as well, because they have to be able to connect with the material. But there are examples of movies that sound great on paper but don't play very well at all, and that maybe sound kind of subpar, but the execution is great because of you get the context, right? You get the music, you get the mood, you get the atmosphere, you get the characters, you get the performances, you get the story that you were just reading come to life. And sometimes when those things come to life, even though you might think you're going to hate it, you end up loving it. So I agree with you. It is in the execution. And if this is the direction they're going, I think what worries me as a Halloween fan, and I've said this before, and I know it does you too, I think it worries every Halloween fan. It's not that I would like to think that most Halloween fans, although maybe that's not true, are mature enough and smart enough to go, even the ones that, you see that and you go, really? That's okay. Well, okay, let's see what they do here. You give them the benefit of the doubt and you go in and you see what they're going to, what they present to you. But because hypothetically, if this is the way it's going and the whole film really focuses on Corey, Michael's hardly in it until the end, and whatever the case is.
That's different. That's different.
But that's some of the stuff that's out there, right? So all I'm saying is that, if this is the case, I question why this story? Why go?
Yeah, especially in your swan song.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Like,
this is the ending.
Right. It would, this is it. And again, we could watch it and go, oh, you know what? Now that I've seen it, actually, it was pretty good. Like, that could happen too. But just on paper.
Well, if anything, what they should have done with this character is maybe introduced him in the first film so that when you got to this point of this trilogy, that Michael's getting his, this is Michael's moment. This is his last, this is it.
Right. Right.
And, because here's the thing. If you base it on a percentage scale, if they go 70-30 in regards to the kills, who's doing the killing, if it's 70 Michael, 30 Corey, I'm okay with it. 60-40, you're getting a little, you're hitting a line that I think it can be okay. I don't want to see 50-50. I don't want to see half the movie it's Corey and then half the movie it's Michael. Because like we were just saying, this is Michael's. This is it.
Yeah.
He deserves, this is his moment. You know what I mean? And me as a Halloween fan, as a fan of this franchise, if I'm being told this is the end, or the end of this story with Jamie Lee Curtis anyways, I'm going to feel robbed if it's 80 Corey, 20% Michael. Yeah. You know what I mean?
100%. And again, I say if.
As a fan.
Right. I'm right there with you. And I think all us Halloween fans can agree. I question why the risk now? Why would you? Because the reason why Corey wasn't set up in the first movie is because this wasn't going to be this. Now, I don't know what in this Halloween Ends, what in their original idea for Halloween Ends have made it into this new version, because for those of you that may not know, these three movies were all going to take place on the same night.
Right. That's true. Good call. Yes. Good call. That's right.
Originally, it was going to be, and then, it was going to be 18 kills and ends would have, although I don't know for sure, I would assume ends would have probably ended in a similar fashion as Halloween 2, in the sense of that it ends at sunrise. And yes, I know it's technically November 1st, but it's still Halloween night. Do you know what I mean? Even Halloween 2, a large majority of Halloween 2, 1981, takes place on November 1st as well, because you cross at midnight. You know what I mean? When Michael was blown to smithereens, that wasn't Halloween. That was technically probably, 4 a.m. on November 1st. So, I'm okay with that, because I'm not okay with having a Halloween movie on like November 8th, but I'm okay because it's carrying over. It's the connective tissue in terms of the timeline. It's carrying over into the morning. And I would assume, I don't know for sure, but I would assume that was likely how Halloween Ends was originally going to end. Then the pandemic hit. And I don't know if Blumhouse wasn't crazy on the idea. I don't know if there were some things that were just not working. Maybe Jamie Lee wasn't happy with it. I don't know, but for whatever reason, it's one thing to tweak the script you have. You've written something, we can't shoot it right now because of the pandemic, but that gives us some time to, noodles, and polish what we already have. That is usually what happens. You tweak some things, maybe, let's add this, but you don't abandon your idea altogether. And that's essentially what they did. They abandoned their original idea altogether in favor for something they clearly thought was better. So it makes me wonder, well, what was the original idea? And is there anything in there that has carried into ends? I don't know. But why do that now? Was it, whose ultimate decision was it? Was it David Gordon Green and Danny McBride? Did they sit down and say, oh, we're so passionate? Maybe it was. But why, if it is true, and again, we don't know, but if all those things we're hearing are true, it focuses on Corey and it's mostly this and all that kind of stuff. Let's say it's all true. Why take that big of a swing now? Why not just, like I've been saying in my videos for the last week, keep your hands at, I've actually been saying it longer than that, keep your hands at 10 and 2 and bring in this plane, just nice and steady, bring it in, give us some stalking, give us some, some lurking, the music, create a story that makes sense, connect, whatever the case. I'm okay if it's character driven, that makes sense. 4 years later, I'm cool with that. But why have this, I don't know if avant-garde is, well, it might be experimental.
There's your word.
But it just means experimental ideas.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But why take this avant-garde approach now? It's like, dude, just bring it in. I've said, people have often asked me, what do they need to do? And I said, they need to deliver a film that doesn't insult the intelligence of Halloween fans. And I'm not saying they have. We don't know. We haven't seen it. We could not like what we're hearing in the rumor mill and go see it, and maybe 75% of what we've heard is true, but still walk out going, actually, no, that was pretty good. It worked because of the execution. But why take that risk now? I mean, you've
in the finale.
Yeah, why now? Because if it bombs, let's say it bombs critically. It's just, what is this? Fans, oh my God. That doesn't mean 5 or 10 years down the road it won't develop a cult following like Halloween 3 did. Maybe it will. But let's say it initially bombs, right? Because it's too avant-garde. It's too much of a departure, like John Carpenter didn't say it was too much of a departure, but it's too much of a departure. John Carpenter said it is a departure. It's weird. It's different. That's what Christopher Nellis was I've heard different. Maybe it's too much of those things. Then where does that leave you? And where does that leave you for David Gordon Green's Exorcist trilogy that he's trying to get made? Your last movie just tanked, and it's and critically, I'm not saying it will. It could be a 98 on Rotten Tomatoes. Who knows? But why take that risk?
Fans are going to be blowing up. Is it Malik? Is that how you say it? Malik?
Yeah, Malik.
Fans are going to be blowing up Malik Akkad's Twitter account. Bring back Danielle Harris and Ellie Cornell and reboot the franchise from Halloween 4. This shit is garbage. Bring them back.
Bring them back.
This shit is garbage. No, bring back Harris and Cornell. We'll pick up from where 4 ends and we'll skip over 5 and 6. We did it with Curtis. We can do it with them.
Yeah. Now that's
what fans will do.
100%. And I also want to address this, because this is important too. So people often say, well, hang on a sec, Dave. Hang on a sec. So you just want them to do the same old, same old. Halloween fans have been, we want something different. Why do they keep just doing the same thing over again?
I don't think it's the same old here. But when you're introducing something so new at the end.
Correct.
With no room for it to grow for maybe a sequel.
Correct.
That's not good.
That's right. It's not that they're, listen, I applaud taking risks. I applaud doing something a bit different, trying to tell a different story, something we haven't seen before. That's great. All that is great. And the principle of that is great. But it feels a little strange now, where it's like, well, hang on a sec, because you don't have another movie that you could, I'm like, what if this doesn't work, guys? What if, like, right now to focus so heavily on this? And I think it just has Halloween fans going, maybe for this trilogy, we should just play it safe, not take no risks, but just play it safe in the sense of it's a Halloween movie, and we go and we watch it. It's really good, and I don't mean safe as in boring. I just mean safe as in, okay, that's good. That's good. I got what I got what I paid for. That's what I wanted to see. I don't think any Halloween fan wants to see 90 minutes of Corey Cunningham, but maybe afterwards we'll be like, thank God we saw 90 minutes of Corey. I don't know. I have no idea, but it's a risk that's why I say, because the fact that...
gutsy move.
Yes. And I think that for fans everywhere, it deserves attention because the rumor of a Corey and the actor playing Corey did end up being true. So that's why I'm like, well, if that's true, maybe even half of the stuff might be true, half might be not. So...
And I will say this: don't underestimate the power of fans, social media, and I mean, I know I'm kidding, but at the same time, I mean, I'm not on Twitter.
Yeah.
I just got back on Facebook this week, believe it or not. Yeah.
So that is you that befriended me.
That is me.
I waited for a bit to see if it was not, you know what I mean? So, okay, I will accept your friend request.
So I could see the fans. I'm saying worst case. Like we're going totally bombs.
Yeah.
Fans hate it. Everyone's just like, no, what the fuck did you like? Because again, like you said, we're paying our money to see a character that you and I have grown up with our entire lives since we were little kids. That new fans continuously come to this franchise almost every year. You've got a crop of new young fans coming in, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is great. And if you end on such a bad note, I can see the fans blowing up Malik and saying, "Dude, go back." Get it right. If you need to retcon Halloween 5 and 6 and bring back Harris and Ellie Cornell and start from where Halloween 4 ends, because this shit, no. That's the power of social media that we didn't have back in the day, by the way, that fans can get shit done. I mean, it's happened. We've seen it happen with movies or even actors being cast and all that. I mean, the power of social media is real. And if fans don't spend their money, like, a second or third showing, to see Halloween Ends, like, Devin and I are planning to go see it, like everybody else, opening weekend. And my buddy Devin, for those who are new, one of my best friends down here in Georgia, big Halloween fan too. And I mean, we walked out of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, okay? And I never finished watching that until years later with Dave, doing the show with Dave finally. I don't want that feeling.
Right.
I said, Devin, I have a bad streak with you going to Halloween movies because it's the only time I've ever walked out of a movie. Since then, him and I have never. And I'm like, bro, I got a bad feeling that we're going to be looking at each other like we did during Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? And so, I mean, there is that side to it that if it ends on such a bad note, that's what I don't want. I don't want it to end on like, this is how we're ending it. This is Michael's moment. This is Laurie's moment. Whether I like the character or not, it's still her moment. Everything needs to just, you need to go down in a blaze of glory. You know what I mean? Like, like you said, 10-2 and just glide that sucker in. If you start taking risks now, when you're at the conclusion of a movie or a trilogy or a 4-parter, however you want to, do it.
Right. Well, that's what it's about. It's again, I said it a few seconds ago and I will say it again. It is not, of course, it is a positive thing that filmmakers take risks, write stories that are avant-garde or that are, whatever the case is. But it's the same thing with Rian Johnson and The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, right? Rian Johnson, it's fine if you want to be experimental, but you got to start from the beginning to do that. You don't start making choices that are strange or having characters behave in certain ways that are not the way these characters would behave in the middle of something. You know what I mean? Just because you want to take some risks, it doesn't fit. It's not that it can't fit, but it doesn't usually work out. And again, we haven't seen the movie yet, so we don't know. Maybe it will work. But the reason why I say 10-2 and just bring it in is not because, I'm a fan that just doesn't like to step out of my comfort zone. And you and I were the ones here that said, hey, if they ever reboot Halloween, it should be a 1950s film noir, horror movie, set in the 50s with Dr. Loomis, not a psychiatrist, but a detective from Chicago. And he's got a trench coat and a fedora, whatever, very, Hitchcock kind of movie or whatever. I mean, it's not that, we're not open to, reimagining or changing some things up and take some risks.
But that gives you room to breathe for
because you're starting at the beginning. Starting at the beginning. To suddenly take this risk now, it is a risk. And I think they know that. They're not stupid. They know that. It's either going to work or it's not. It's possible that if it's well directed, if the story is a good story and the performances are good, it is possible that, in time, 5-10 years down the road, maybe sooner, it will develop a cult following and it will have its fans, 100%. But at face value, I don't think it's what most Halloween fans are expecting. And it's not that we just want the same, I can't speak for anybody else, but it's not that I just want the same thing over and over again. I mean, if you follow me for any length of time, you know, the things I've been talking about. But, I think that at this stage of the game, I think it's important to, bring it in nice and steady. It doesn't mean you can't take some risks, but don't remove the DNA of what a Halloween film is. If you want to tell a story about Corey and Michael, and you do that from the get-go, set it up from the get-go. Do I believe that this was set up from the get-go? I don't have any evidence to tell me that it was, because the pandemic hit. So all I know is that somebody just went, hey, you know what we could do instead of this? Yeah, why don't we do this? I don't know if I don't know. I don't know. And if it doesn't land, if it winds up with, 20% on Rotten Tomatoes from, the critics and 38% from the fans and, fans, if it does, if it does go the other way, it's not surprising. It's not that fans are big babies and they just don't like a thing. No. It's more nuanced than that. It's a risk that I don't know if it's worth taking now. It's also a film that's not going to be nominated for any Oscars. It's not going to, I don't know what the hell's the point, just to deliver something unexpected. Is that the whole point?
Dude,
I don't know. But again, we haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen it, so I don't know.
I've got the trailer paused at where...
Yeah, let's go through the trailer again.
Where clearly Corey, now that you've pointed out to me and I'm seeing it paused, clearly not Michael, clearly Corey.
Where are you paused?
Opening up the door, and you just see Jamie Lee with the gun.
Okay, so let me get to that. Hang on.
And you see his hand obviously intact. Good point. Again, I didn't see that I only watched it once last week, so I didn't spend the time doing what we're doing now.
Yeah.
One side of this, I will say what I like about this shot that I have it perfectly paused at is it's the first time that I feel like I'm actually looking at Michael Myers 1978, because when you look at Nick Castle, who plays Michael Myers in the original film, he's not a big guy. I've said that on many streams. And that's what made the character so frightening in that movie. In the original film is the fact that this is not some big brooding guy and he's doing what he's doing, picking Bob up with one arm and stabbing him. I mean, that's serious. And then when you look at shots of Nick in the film, like the laundry scene is a perfect example where Annie gets stuck in the original film and the door opens and you see Michael, back there behind the curtain. You look at him standing at the doorway. He's not a tall dude. I mean, she's a short guy.
Well, and Jamie Lee Curtis is tall. I think she's like for a woman, she's tall. I think she's like 5'8" or 9. So,
and if you notice, if you ever go back and watch the original film, watch how they block the shots. They always make sure to keep a kind of until the ending, until like when it's Tommy Lee Wallace busting through the closet there. For the most part, the shot angle selection is deceiving because it is supposed to make Michael look a little bit bigger than her. But in reality, Nick Castle and Jamie Lee Curtis are probably close in height, if not the same height.
Yeah, I think Nick might be like an inch taller, maybe, or 2.
If that, you know what I mean? So I do like the shot. It's
on its own, sure.
On its own, it's a great, like, damn, this is as closest to OG Mike that I've seen in 40 plus years. Having said that, while you were talking, I was kind of staring at that image and started thinking like, fuck.
Yeah, I have it up on the screen now.
What if now, this is a big what if, but it would be like oh my God, I can't believe they did it. What if this is actually the end of the movie and he's the one who kills Laurie and not Michael?
Well, you see, okay, now as I'm
it's a what if. That's why I make sure I'm just throwing that out there.
For sure.
What if, because we're thinking this could be somewhere in the middle of the movie or somewhere at the beginning or something like. Yeah. What in fact Laurie did kill Michael, but this dude actually, I will be so fucking pissed because you all know the one thing the only thing I wanted in this run is to see Michael kill Laurie.
No,
I'm not
I actually
debate on the character and why I don't like the character, but that's my payoff. I want to see Michael and Laurie once and for all. And if it turned out in the what if worst case scenario that Corey kills Laurie, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna go to the theater and be like, give me my money back. Give me my money back. Give me a gift certificate to another movie.
So a few things about this. So obviously, I'm not the only one that's noticed it. A lot of people have, of course. I'm surprised they put this in the teaser, but maybe they are completely dense and don't think that we're going to notice it, or maybe they want us to see it because they want to judge the reaction. And maybe they just kind of want to, I don't know, they want to say, hey, how's this going to go over? I don't think this is a dream sequence at all. I think once you watch the movie, I think this is for real. I think... obviously, you can see the left hand. I do not believe this is a mirrored image, as some have said. This is not mirrored, or you would notice the burns on the right. On the side, on that side of the mask, and you don't because they're on the other side. So it's not a mirrored image. No, I think this is. Again, we don't know for sure, but if the rumors are true, if they are, and again, there's more credence to believe that they might be now that we know there is a guy named Corey and he's played by the actor that he is. This could be Corey Cunningham. And
the reason why
you see that left hand, and he's got all his fingers.
Yeah, it's intact.
Yeah.
The reason why I say what if is what I was going to finish off by saying, because Evil Alex pointed out what I was going to conclude with is that it's kind of a full circle moment for the franchise, because they opened the movie in the original film with the Panaglide shot, walking up and doing all that stuff. That it almost would make sense that that's how they end it.
Yeah, and it could be
type of a shot.
It could be
like a come full circle moment that this is how we begin. This is how Halloween ends.
Right. It's hard to know because of the way that trailers are cut. Trailers will use cinematic language to tell a little story within the minute and 16 seconds like this, or the 2.5 minutes, or whatever the case is. They will deliberately put things out of order, not just to potentially mislead the viewer because they're trying to hide a spoiler, but just because something works really well, like a line or something. They'll place a line at a moment in a trailer because it just works for that's just a great exclamation point on that moment in the trailer. But when you watch the movie, that moment actually doesn't happen at the moment that it happens in the trailer. It happens somewhere else. That's it. They're not trying to necessarily mislead you. They're trying to sell the movie. And a trailer is usually a montage of the mini story that they're telling. So, for example, we don't know that the opening of this film with the POV, walking up to this nice Victorian home that kind of looks like one from Halloween 4. We don't know if this interior here is the interior of that exterior. We don't know. We have no idea if the exterior of that home is this home. It could be. It could very well be. But the way that trailers are sometimes cut and the story that they're trying to tell, it wouldn't surprise me if this actually is a different home altogether. Having said that, not a dream sequence. I don't believe that. Something that Darren Sands said of the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast. Shout out to Frank and Darren, great guys over there. Great channel, by the way. I don't know if they're watching right now, but if they are, feel free to pop your channel into the chat room, because if you guys are not subscribed to them, trust me, you're going to thank me. One of the things that Darren said, and I tend to think that, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Is maybe when that door opens, see, Laurie thinks this is Michael. And Laurie is they're trying to bait Michael, and the door opens. She thinks it's Michael, and she shoots him and kills Corey. And and then she takes off the mask and realizes oh my God, it's Corey Cunningham, my granddaughter's boyfriend or my granddaughter's friend or whatever, and she's fucking going nuts and crazy. And then that's when, of course, the real Michael shows up at some point. I don't know. I'm not saying it is, but that was an interesting sort of point that Darren had said that I thought was kind of cool. Another speculation thing that I haven't heard too many others say. We noticed that Laurie is dressed. It looks like she bought the Laurie Strode outfit from Tots. It looks.
It really. Yeah. Like when you think of costume designing, it's just like, really, we couldn't have made a little more effort.
That's it.
Because I'm looking at that because I skipped over to that just to now it's just solely her, and it's kind of a vignette there.
Yeah.
Around her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? We couldn't, I mean, Jesus,
yeah, let me just go to that.
Photos, in my photo shoots that I was doing, I put a lot more effort in than what they did here for Jamie Lee Curtis and her costume.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, come on.
Yeah, I moved
into it, folks.
Well, no, but what's interesting though is there's one of two things that are happening here, okay? I've moved to that shot now as well. So, yes, one of the first things I noticed, one of the first things all Halloween fans noticed was this looks like Jamie Lee Curtis cosplaying as her 1978 self. Not necessarily in a bad way, but that's what it looks like, right? The blue shirt, the hair, right? So people say, oh, it's a dream sequence. No, I don't think it is. I think it's one of two things. I think it's either that it's just, which I don't think it is, but I think it's one of two things. I think it's either that that she's just dressed like this, okay? Her hair, like, if you notice the set photos from Halloween Ends that were released in and around the time that they were shooting, and Jamie Lee was on set, she was in the makeup room as well, and she had a jacket on, glasses. She was in her outfit. She had just been fitted for costume, obviously, and she was probably getting her makeup done. And she took a photo of herself in the mirror, and her hair looked very similar to that. So this could very well be her hair now, right? She's moved on. We know from the synopsis that she's writing her memoir about all the shit that's gone on. She's trying to get on with her life. She's trying to move on. So obviously she's going to look cleaner, more well put together than she did in Halloween 18 and Kills. So maybe that is just her hair now. That's possible. And she just so happens to be wearing a blue shirt that is similar to what she wore before. But again, this is not that she's trying to dress up as herself from 1978. It's just the filmmakers, the writers had written it this way, just kind of like, because so fans will pick up on it, because they'll be like, oh, but when you watch the movie, you're like, oh, it's just so happened she put on a blue shirt that day. She's not actually, but when you look at it, you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like in some way she kind of, that's one side. The other side is, she has deliberately made herself to look like this because she is trying to either connect, and I mentioned this, I know the Slaughtered Lamb guys talked about this as well, and others may have too, but I know I talked about this too, that maybe she's trying to connect. Michael doesn't give a shit about her. Michael didn't remember her. Hawkins in Halloween Kills, it was never about you, Laurie, it was never about you. And maybe she's trying to move on, but maybe it got to the point in the story where she's just, in order to truly move on, she needed to face her, attacker and get him to acknowledge, it's that psychological thing where you're like, she wants to be acknowledged. She wants to be acknowledged. The shit you fucking did, the shit you fucking put me through, my 3 friends, you fucking, for Michael, it was just another day at the office. For Laurie, it's been her whole life. It's been her identity. And maybe even though she was on the men's, at some point in the movie, she changes and she does dress up like this, thinking it's going to connect with Michael and that he's somehow going to, and she carved a pumpkin like that and she's got it there. And it sounds crazy. Sure. Okay. But maybe that's what's happening there. I don't think this is a dream sequence. I think it's one of those two options, that she just so happens to have put on that shirt that day, or she's deliberately looking that way. Either to connect with Corey or to connect with Michael in some sort of fashion. And obviously it doesn't go as planned, clearly. That's what I think anyway. That's what I think.
I concur. I'm going to go with my what if scenario. Maybe it's an ending, like, coming full circle.
Oh, I think this is the ending. There are some people that have said that maybe the fight sequence we see at the in the teaser happens at the very beginning of the movie, and some people have said that maybe it's like the prologue before the actual movie begins, and it's actually Laurie leaving the hospital. And I think that would be cool. I don't think that is what's happening, because if you look closely at the fight scene, Laurie is in that blue shirt. So when she left the hospital in Kills, I don't think she would have gone home and changed. I think she would have gone right from the hospital right to the Myers house. And, I remember when the CinemaCon trailer dropped and the transcript talked about a fight scene in a kitchen, and everybody was wanting to know what the mask look like. What's the mask look like? What's the mask look like? And I want to know, what the hell is Laurie wearing? Because if she's wearing the same thing she was wearing in the hospital when she supposedly left, well, then that tells us that maybe that fight scene takes place in the Myers house kitchen, and it is her actually going over there. But based on what I've seen here, I don't think it is. I think it's exactly what the teaser is telling us, and I think it's part of the climactic fight at the end. Not necessarily like the last minutes of the movie, but certainly the third act of the film. I do. I think that's what it is for sure. But who knows? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. But all right, now let me go along here. I want to. Where's my little cursor? Where's my cursor? There it is.
Where are you going?
Okay, I'm gonna go. Hang on a sec here. Let me just keep going. I'm gonna pause. Yeah, she gets taught. See how she's in that blue shirt there when she got thrown over the counter? She's screaming. She's in the blue shirt. Okay, I'm gonna hang on. Let me bring up the thing a bit larger so I can see where the time code is. 1 second, dude. So I want you to go to. Yeah, they're showing a bunch of clips from the original. Kills 18. It's cool. Go to. Okay. Go to, I don't know if we're watching the same thing. Go to, for me, it's 52 seconds. Do you see Corey being strangled by Myers? 52 seconds. I know.
No, mine is, hold on. That's Corey?
Yes. Being strangled. 52 seconds. Now, if you look at Corey's right hand.
Mine's 42 seconds.
Oh, okay. No.
I got it anyway. They're in a sewer?
They're in a sewer. Not the 42 one. It's the second one where he's like lying on the ground. 52 seconds, I think.
Okay, I see what you... All right, hang on. Let me get this.
Yeah.
Shit.
Can you move it along with like arrows on the keyboard?
I keep getting the redhead.
Oh, yeah.
And then it jumps to Michael's silhouette, like an upshot of.
Oh.
All right, I got it.
You got it?
Right. It's not, yeah, it's good as.
Okay, well, if you look at Corey's right hand, and he's got his right hand on Michael's arm, you can see a pinky finger, a pinky ring on his pinky finger, a ring on his pinky finger. And so that's interesting. Okay.
I can't see it.
You can't.
I trust you.
Yeah. No, it's there. It's there. Yeah. Can you move along like by frame, like with?
I can see that his hand is wrapped.
Can you move along by frame with the arrows? If you have arrows on a keyboard, or go along like very.
It jumps it.
Oh, it jumps it.
Yeah.
What about the not the main arrows, but the arrows? I know you have a Mac. Are there arrows on your keyboard beside the letters? Those arrows, I think, will probably go by like, no?
It's fine.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
I got it.
Well, okay. So there's that. And then where is the, hang on a sec here. Where is the, is it after this? Yeah. Okay. Go to, 1 second here. Go to about 54 seconds. So I guess it's only 2 seconds later. If you can get to 54 seconds, Michael is stabbing what I think is a pillow. Somebody puts a pillow in the air, and I think he's stabbing through the pillow. There's a ring on his pinky finger there.
So it's not Michael doing the stabbing.
I don't think that's Michael doing the stabbing. No, I think it's probably Corey. Some people have said, well, maybe Michael killed Corey and he takes his ring. Maybe.
I don't think Michael's all about that bling.
No, I don't. Yeah, that's right. I don't think he is. So these things are interesting. Again, that doesn't mean that the rumors are true. It doesn't mean that what we've speculated on last week and even here today is true. And of course, this is not meant to be slowed down. When you watch it as is, when you take it at face value, when you take it with the trailer's original intention, you don't even notice this. Unfortunately, in today's age, with the internet and the ability to do this kind of thing on YouTube, unfortunately, some of the magic is taken away. And fans do this. Fans pointed me to this. I didn't notice the ring, but some fans had DM'd me and said, did you notice that Corey is wearing a ring? And I'm like, no. And then somebody said, did you notice that Michael's wearing a ring? And I'm like, Michael's wearing? I noticed the hand. on the door, but that's okay because I don't know if we were meant to notice that, but he slowly opens the door. It's there. It's free reign. I don't have to slow it down. I don't have to speed it up. I can watch it in real time, and you can see his fingers on that hand. So that's on them. That's not on me. I didn't slow it down and zoom in and analyze and brighten the image and do this and that and all that. No, I didn't have to do that. I took it at face value and saw it. But with this stuff, yeah, unfortunately, in order to see it, yeah, you have to slow it down. And the day and age we live in today, that's what fans do, because they want every detail. And I would not have talked about it or covered it if it wasn't actually quite peculiar, and interesting. So very interesting indeed. And then the rest of the trailer. And you know what, dude? I don't know if the chat will agree with me, but there's something about, I love the shot. I love the lighting and I love the shot. But there's something about this shot here at 57 seconds with Laurie sort of cowering in the corner there. And I don't think that's Michael.
You think that's Corey?
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess he's the, yes. Well, I'll just say I don't think that's Michael. There's just something about...
It's definitely
called intuitive.
More leaner person than James Jude Courtney. Again, this looks like Michael in his prime. In 19 again, which I like. I'm a fan of not big, WWE Michael Myers. I have to suspend my disbelief that how old was Michael in 78?
21.
I have to suspend my disbelief that Michael grew from 5'10" to 6'2" as an adult, when usually we stop growing as adults. Not saying it doesn't happen. It obviously has happened, but I have to suspend, because Nick Castle and James Jude Courtney are obviously, there's 4 inches, right? 5 inches between the two of them.
Yeah, Courtney's 6'3", I think.
So 4 or 5 inches between the two of them. So as far as this is something I would do, as a photographer, and something I'm probably just to get everyone excited. That's why I started Facebook, because I'm specifically going to do it on Facebook. I talked with a couple of the girls. We're going to do in October. We're going to do a couple of Halloween photo shoots. I'm not going to go at this like I did before, but, just to get into the spirit of the movie coming out. So we're going to do some of my OG photos. And that's something that I would create. So that's, what I mean? But if I'm supposed to look at this and think is that Michael? No, it's not Michael.
Yeah, no, again, it could very well be him. But the very first time I watched the teaser, for whatever reason, I just felt that, no, this is not him. It could very well be him. Brandon Collins says something here in the chat, and he's absolutely correct. I've mentioned this, I don't know how many times on here, that these trailers are not to entice Halloween fans. I mean, to a degree they are, of course. But at the end of the day, we're going to be there, ready to go no matter what. It's to entice general audiences, and general audiences are not sitting there on YouTube going, hang on a sec. Hang on, hang on. You see that? No, you see that right there? Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! They're not doing that. No, it's us Halloween fans that are doing that. And,
I hope it's Michael. I hope I'm wrong, and we come back.
I hope so too.
Nope, it was Michael.
I hope so too.
I would love to be.
I hope so too. But it's interesting. Again, one of my sources back in May told me told me different. Christopher Nelson said weird and different, and it's not like he was like, oh, it's really weird and different, guys, look out. He's just talking, he's just saying, it's weird and different, whatever. He probably didn't mean, look out, everybody, oh my God. And even if he thought that, he's not going to say that. And John Carpenter says it's a departure. So whatever happens, I think at the very least, we can expect something that is different, that is not what we're expecting. Now, whether that is a good thing or a bad thing has yet to be seen. If the rumors are true, maybe it'll be a hell of a story. Like I said, we'll walk away going, that was great. But I'm with you, Tony. I think it's a very strange sort of creative decision to make this late in the game. It's like when you are...
What's the runtime on this movie?
Oh, don't know yet. I have no idea. Okay. I have no idea. It's like when you are playing sports. It's not that managers or coaches won't make a bold move late in the game, right? Sometimes they will, and sometimes it works. But I think when you look at the I don't know for sure, but I think if you were to look at the stats of coaches and managers taking ballsy moves and you know, just shooting for the fences late in the game, you know, whatever, it probably doesn't work more often than it does. You know, now when it does, it's like, woohoo! You know, you got fucking the quarterback. It's fucking like, you know, fourth and you know, 56 or something, you know, and there's like, you know, 0.2 seconds left in the game, and he and he goes back and just throws a fucking bomb. It's going, it's up, and it's holy shit, and he's got it. He's got it. Touchdown. When it works, it's amazing. But generally speaking, that rarely works. Yeah, you know what I mean? Usually it's over the head, or he's sacked, or it's you know, or he catches it, but he's tackled before the first down they actually need, or whatever the case is. It's not that it can't work, but it's just like, why would, unless they feel, because of the reception from kills, unless they feel that they're 4th and 56 right now, and maybe they needed to do something crazy and a big risk. Maybe they feel that way. I don't know. I have no idea, you know, or it's just something they thought was cool and they're not thinking about it that hard. And they just thought, no, I think this is a cool idea. Let's do this. And Jason Blum was like, yeah, that's cool. And Universal was like, yeah, all right. You know, and they're doing it. I don't know, but if it were me, I probably would have advised against it, and I would have said, well, that's cool. That's cool, but maybe we should think about doing that some other time. You know, maybe now we should just bring it in, you know, tell a story, tell something that's cool, and add some things in there, but let's just bring it home now, you know.
It would have been a good idea if they launched the 2018 film with this storyline, so that we could go along with it for 3 films, you know.
Right.
You know, maybe the Corey character survives for a film or two, or maybe the first 2 anyways, until Michael, you know what I mean, or something. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing ideas. Because I like the idea if their approach is more along the lines of
like a copycat,
not even just with someone who's just obsessed. You know what I mean?
I got
someone
you.
Who's so obsessed with Michael, because like I said, there's a lot of that shit out there. You know what I mean? A lot of, even, you know, when I was doing the pictures, man, like people would send me photos, like, I mean, weird shit, like, you know, like I tried to take it as an artistic approach, you know, and create these pictures for people to enjoy.
Yeah.
You know, some motherfuckers were sending me shit that I'm just like, some people are just out of touch with reality. So if they approached it from that angle, then I would have been like, okay, because there's a lot of believability with that people do. I mean, you hear about this shit all the time. You know, people,
and maybe they do
with serial killers and stuff like that, and try to become like so from that perspective, I could get into it. The problem is, like you said, is that we're only getting one movie with it. You know what I mean? So either this is going to be a 3-hour runtime where, you know, they, you know, well,
totally.
I'm just saying,
it's 4th and 56 with 2.8 seconds to go.
Yeah. You almost would need like a 3-hour runtime for me to go, well, okay, they told enough. I got enough. I don't need any more. It's done. It wasn't that bad. Yeah. Or we're going to get a 2-hour movie. And like I said, we're going to get 80% Corey, 20% Michael. And it's going to piss a lot of people off. I mean, look, if anybody from Blumhouse is watching this, which I doubt they are, but if by some chance, I mean, you're going to piss a lot of fans off, and you're not going to get repeat viewing. And I sure shit wouldn't waste money on buying it digitally. You know what I mean?
Well, if it doesn't work, right? If it doesn't work, and if the risk works and it actually makes sense, and you watch it and you have the context of the music and the performances and the mood and the atmosphere, and, you know, maybe there's some stalking in there. I don't know. If it, maybe with everything, you know, all the context, maybe we'll be like, oh, you know what? It's not that bad. You know, it's actually all right. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But it's interesting, though. It's interesting to kibitz back and forth about it and kind of see. And of course, there's no doubt there will be another trailer in short time, I'm sure, maybe in September or something, that we'll be back here doing it again. You want to hit the Q&A?
Yeah. Sure.
All right, let's hit the Q&A. Let's, I know some super chats came in, so let me grab those super chats And if you,
and by the way, we are going to be doing some of these horror pictures, and if you follow me on Instagram, whether my DJ account or my photography account, hit me up. I'm being selective on who I want to connect with on Facebook because I also have family on there. I kind of know who I'm going to accept and who I'm going to put on there. But I know there's a lot of people who really liked the horror pictures that we did. So I'm not trying to kill myself like I did the last time by trying to do a shoot every single week, because my business is doing so well now that I just don't have time for that. But some of the girls hit me up after the trailer came out and were like, we should do a Halloween shoot in October. And I'm like, fuck. Like, once they asked, and I'm just like, fuck. Like, yeah, let's do it.
I gotcha.
So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna do it on Facebook, and I'm gonna, so that I'm not putting the pressure of myself of doing it on Instagram. So hit me up, send me a DM on either one of my accounts, and
they're right below his image there, guys. Anthony Michael Pix, Pixx, and Anthony Michael Mix, which of course, well, I guess it's the Pix one you want.
Either one. I'll get a DM from there, and then we'll connect there, and
Cool. All right, so the first super chat of the night came from Jaybird, who sent in a $9.99, said, "What's up, Dave? I read an article today about Halloween Ends, and there's a scene that referenced Halloween Resurrection, trick or treat motherfucker. If this is the case, what would your reaction be?" Well, you said you read an article. Was it an article, or was it somebody's blog, or what? Like, where? My first thing is, well, where did you read this? Was it from, one of the trades, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Deadline? Was it, from...
what was the question? This is the question?
BillyBobTiddlywinks.com? I don't know. The question is, I read an article today about Halloween Ends, and there's a scene that referenced Halloween Resurrection, trick or treat motherfucker. If this is the case, what would your reason be? Reaction be? And my first thought was, well, what's the validity? Where did you read this? Like, what's the source of this information would be my first question to you. But to answer your question, if trick or treat motherfucker is in here, my immediate reaction is that's completely unnecessary. I hope that's not in there.
Doesn't Lori say something along those lines? Like, not trick or treat motherfucker, but doesn't she say,
come out motherfucker? Yeah, but it's not, she can say, something. Come get me. She can say,
come get me, motherfucker.
Yeah, she does. Right? She can say trick or treat motherfucker all she wants. As long as it's not trick or treat motherfucker. Fucker, yeah, you piece of shit. You fucking god. Michael was so emasculated in that movie. You had Freddy dressed up as Michael, like poking Michael in the chest, going, Michael Myers, you you go back and you go around the corner and he's poking, and then Michael does it. He does. He's completely emasculated, and he turns around and walks away. And I'm like, oh, no. Hate that. Jaybird follows up with $4.99 and says, also, do you think Jimmy should have been brought back from Halloween 2? I think they could have developed Laurie and Jimmy. Well, the Jimmy character never existed in the original Halloween. Yeah. So, and I know that, I'm sure Jaybird knows that. So if they brought Jimmy back, it wouldn't be the same Jimmy. It would be a different Jimmy. Even if you got Lance Guest, it wouldn't be the same one. So he would have no memory of any hospital massacre or anything like that. I don't think so. I think it's unnecessary.
Do you know what I just realized? It never dawned on me for whatever fucking reason. I never made the connection. Just, whatever reason I didn't realize Jimmy from Halloween 2 is the same dude from Jaws 4.
Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
I never made the connection.
You never made that connection?
No, I don't know how or where recently I made the connection. I'm like, oh, wait, that's the motherfucker from Halloween 2.
Yep.
Just never, I don't know. Because he's older, he's got the beard in Jaws 4.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So I think that's why I never made that connection that it was the same dude.
Yes.
And like one day I'm like, hey, it was just kind of one of those moments where I was alone and I'm like, holy shit.
I gotcha. Yeah. I met him actually at the 40th convention. Okay. Nice guy.
Cool dude.
Yeah. There's a quick interview with him, I think, on my channel somewhere. If you YouTube Dave McRae, Lance Guest or something, it should pop up. Let me see here. I got that. Then Riley sends in $2, says, will Halloween Ends be bloodier than Halloween 18? I suspect not. Because I think they're pulling back. If anything, I think the kills, I don't know how many there will be, but But if anything, I think they will be more in line with Halloween 18. That's what I think, because I think they're pulling back. We're not going to get a Kills style Halloween film. I don't believe so. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking anyway. Dark Light sends in $2, says, do most actors have multiple personality disorder? Do most actors have I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think most actors are passionate about their craft, and
narcissism.
Some actors some actors are insecure for sure, but multiple personality disorder? Yeah.
Oh no, every actor's, their vanity is beyond control. They love the spotlight on them. You don't become an actor if you don't like attention. It's just,
I love attention. Anyway.
Well, you're a voice actor, so technically that falls in.
Hey, listen, I'm just saying, I love some attention. Clearly. No, but to answer your question, do the multiple personality disorder? No, I mean, if you're being serious, not necessarily. Unimpressive Media sends in €10 and says, if Corey is in the costume and mask for a portion of the film, and we as an audience are aware of it, how do you think he should be visually represented? In shadow and stalking, or in a different way? Well, it depends on what does the director, what do they want you to think? If you are aware that it's Corey, then maybe it's unnecessary. But at the same time, if you are aware it's Corey, they still might want to give you that those Michael Myers isms. So they might have him in shadow. They might craft their shots and their lighting to have him in shadow, just because
I also think
it works.
How they execute Corey, because
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, because my question would be, how would Corey know Michael's movements? You know what I mean?
Correct.
It's not like he's been sitting there studying him since 1978. It's not like there's footage that we can go back to and be, I mean, yes, I know we can go back and watch it, but I'm thinking in the context of like the world they've created within. It's not like Corey can go back and look up footage. Well, how did Michael stalk Laurie, or how did he do? He can only base it off of information that he can read from police reports and stories that have been shared. So my question would be, how would he know how to do all of this and be like Michael, be like Mike, right? Gatorade commercial.
That's right.
I mean, so how would he know how to do all that? So I almost think you have to approach Corey, has to almost have his own identity, even though he is obsessed with Michael.
Right.
He's got to do it his own way and not be too Michael-esque, because if he's too much like Mike, then I'm going to be like, well, how did this motherfucker know how to do all that? It's not like he's been stalking Michael,
you mean like head turns and tilts,
like all the little, exactly, the little Michael
idiosyncrasies,
nuances. Exactly. Like if he starts doing that, I'm going to be like, bro, come on.
Fair point, Tony. Great points. And it depends too on what do the writers want you to think. If we know it's Corey, it might be kind of moot to even do that. If they want you to think it's Michael, then they might try something like that. Right. But then they, like your point, Tony, they have to justify, well, how deep is Corey into this? I mean, how does he know?
Well, because there are,
if any of this is true,
there are people who become so obsessive with individuals that they copy their mannerisms. And I get that. I'm not saying I don't get it, but how would he know how to do that? Because like I said, it's not like there's video footage in the world they've created for Halloween, because what we're watching as movies, that doesn't exist. That to them, that's their world. That's reality in the movie they've created. So it's not like he can pull up his phone and be like, Michael's Kills from 1978. What did he do? You know what I mean? Like he can't do that. So it's like you said, and like I've said, it's the execution and how they do that. And I think the smart move would be let Corey just be Corey. Don't try to do Michael shit.
Yep, I agree. By the way, folks, there is 436 people watching and only 113 thumbs up. Smash that thumbs up button, baby. It's free. I'll send you the invoice later. But no, seriously, let's see if we can get those thumbs up. Because it does actually, believe it or not, people say this, you probably heard other people say this, but it actually is true. It actually does help the video. It helps the video in recommendations, searches, all that kind of stuff. The more thumbs up we can get, the better. And the good news is, like I said, it's free. So, well, until I send you that nasty invoice of $5,000, but whatever. Let's see if we can get it. Let's see if we can get it like to 300 at least. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Because not everybody's going to do it. There's some people that are watching. I'm not going to do it. Why? Well, because he told me to do it. I'll do it on my own time. Thank you. Okay, fine. Just messing with you guys, just busting your balls. Well, that's true, Tony. That is true. Michael Peacock sends in $9.99, says, I see this as a whodunit. Who's the copycat? I think it will turn out to be Laurie. To beat and kill the psychopath, you must transcend or outkill over 4 years the psychopath. Well, that would definitely be a hell of a twist. That would definitely be a hell of a twist. And I don't think they would go that crazy. That Laurie ends up transcending and murdering it. That would just, that, like to Tony's point earlier, why now? Like, unless you are setting up more films, which they are not, and I know what people are thinking, oh, but if it does well, the box office, but the rights actually revert back to Malik Akkad. So Blumhouse no longer has the rights to make any more Halloween movies after this one. Now, that doesn't mean they cannot renegotiate and continue to make more, but maybe Malik has other ideas. Maybe Malik is like, okay, no, that's done. I want to go off and do something else now. I want to maybe start something on streaming. Maybe he's had talks with Netflix or Hulu or Prime or something. I don't know. Who knows what Malik has up his sleeve? But we do know that after this Halloween movie is done. Not done forever. There will be other Halloween movies, but this story connected to the 1978 original, David Gordon Green's trilogy, is over. So I think to start that, like to Tony's point, now to being so avant-garde in the third movie, that would be even crazier almost. Laurie transcends and becomes Michael, and she's in the outfit murdering everybody. Oh my God. I'd be sitting there going, what am I watching? What is this? I guess you never know. Tony, what would you do if that happened?
I'd look at Devin and be like, are we walking out?
I love it. Yeah. That's so fun. I love that. All right. Simon Mills sends in 10 pounds. Thank you, Simon. Says, hey, Dave and Tony. You think this new character is supposed to represent the fans? We are the ones that can't let Michael go. Maybe Halloween ends for him. But not for us. The trilogy's been about obsessive people. Maybe I know that obviously they have tried to, and in my estimation, quite unsuccessfully, although they have tried to put in some social commentary into these films. I think the social commentary in Kills was largely unsuccessful because it just felt shoehorned in and it took away from the more interesting things. As I've said many times, social commentary is nothing new in horror movies, but it's usually, sort of subtext, not necessarily beating you over the head with a sledgehammer like Black Christmas 19. Not that Kills was to that degree. Maybe that's could be metaphorically perhaps what they're representing, but I don't get if it's true, if all these rumors are true, I don't get that sense. What about you, Tony?
Possibly, maybe.
Yeah.
The obsession thing definitely seems to be an undertone for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously now, especially with this Corey character.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Good point.
It's possible, Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah. No, it is. It's possible. It's possible. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how this unfolds in less than 3 months. Bud Gumperson, I love that name. 567, thank you, Bud, says, do you guys think they only put the Corey storyline to explain the time jump like they used Sartain to break Michael out in 2018? Do you think you only put the Corey storyline? I don't think so. No, I don't think
so either.
Because according to the synopsis, Corey is a young guy babysitting somebody, and then he gets accused of murdering that kid. Now, obviously, he probably didn't murder the kid, or did he? I don't know. But I don't think so. I don't think they just wrote that in there to bridge a gap necessarily, but maybe. Yeah. Oliver Mercer, £5, says, what if this new Corey guy helps Michael escape prison somehow, perhaps? Say if Michael goes back into prison. Yeah. I don't think Michael is in prison. I think because according to the synopsis, they say that he hasn't been seen since. So Michael is, hanging out.
He's out there.
He's out there. He's either a Walmart greeter hanging out in the sewers or...
He's in Vegas.
I don't know. Yeah, he's in Vegas. Yeah, he's a fucking...
Letting off some steam.
Dude, he's a blackjack dealer. Exactly. He's a total... And he's fucking amazing.
He's hanging out with his favorite escorts, letting off some steam.
That's right. Hot tubs, babes.
I mean, he's had a rough 40 years.
Hey, listen.
Shot at. He's lost fingers.
Dude, I think Michael deserves a little bit of fun. Don't you?
Absolutely.
What
he needs a little R&R.
What if Corey is Michael's son?
Oh, no. Please, God, no. God, no. I don't even want that thought to be in my head.
Son, grandson, maybe. Oh.
It would be, yeah.
Hey, maybe he had conjugal visits. I'm just saying, maybe while he was in prison, he's got needs that need to be met. And maybe he befriended somebody on the outside and they came in and a little wham bam, thank you, Michael.
So as he's being choked out, he says, I'm so-and-so's son, and it stops Michael from killing him.
You're my granddad! You're my granddad!
Oh, man.
Say something! And
I hope we are way wrong on that.
Yeah, and he's like, say something. And then he's like, Corey? That's Michael's first words.
That first and only word line in the whole series.
Yeah.
Corey? And he responds,
It's me. I've wanted to know. Yeah. I've wanted to know where you've been this whole time, Dad. I will teach you the ways of evil. Yes, Dad. Yes, Granddad. Teach me, Granddad. Teach me. Maybe that's what ends up happening. I don't know. I have no idea. Whoops. A little bit of a glitch there. Okay. And then let's see here. Jaybird sends in 499, says, Michael as a character is supposed to be 6 foot, not basing it off Nick Castle. That's why he wore boots in the movie. I wouldn't say that's why he wore boots in the movie. I would say that he wore boots in the movie not to make him taller, but just because, well, I mean, it's possible, but I don't necessarily... I haven't heard that. I mean, I haven't heard that, that's why Nick Castle wore boots in the movie. He wore boots in the movie because that's what the mechanic was wearing. So, it's justified narratively. It's properly motivated that the character would take these things. No, it's always possible that there was a conversation.
That just happened to coincidentally fit him just right.
Right, exactly. Now, it's always possible that John Carpenter may have said, yeah, Nick, I mean, the story goes that Nick, throw on this. But I don't think, guys, I really don't. We have to understand, again, unless Jay Berg can point me to an interview with Tommy Lee Wallace or John Carpenter or whoever saying that, we wanted Nick to be taller, whatever. Fair. That's totally fair. I've never heard it. I think sometimes we as fans will read far too much into stuff. As we do. It wasn't a big deal. When 78 came out, they don't think about it. They don't care about it like fans do. They don't give a fuck. And they don't mean to be mean about it. It's just a job. That's all it is. It's the fans who it's for, who the movie's for. We're the ones that are supposed to get riled up and crazy and, and analyzing and getting all excited, of course. But the actors and the people who made the movies, it's just a job for that. Not that they don't like it and appreciate it and they're proud of their work, but at the end of the day, they're not sitting there going, hang on a sec, if you look at this boot, it says it's a, and then if you go up to his eyeball, you can they're not doing that. They don't, that's for us. That's for fans.
Well, and when they made this, they certainly didn't think that there would be a fan base like this.
No, are you kidding? It was a low budget $300,000 movie that meant nothing. I mean, look, it became the highest grossing independent horror movie in motion picture history. But at the end of the day, it was nothing. It wasn't a big deal.
Really, when you go back to that first movie, all this is it's a dude who killed his sister on a Halloween night, went to a fucking mental institution, escaped, and killed a couple more teenagers, and that's it. I mean, there's nothing more, and I'm quite confident, like in every town across the country, more killings probably happened in those towns. More murders.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's just the nature of reality.
That's
you know what I mean? So. The fact that this town seems to the only murders that has ever happened in this town is caused by one individual.
I know
that's suspending, your belief right there. But that's all it was. It became something more when 2 came out, and then 4 and 5 and so on and so forth.
100%. It was just, I remember, and listen, he said this in interviews, but I remember I had a great conversation with Erwin Yablans, and he said it was just, I just wanted to make, because at that time in the 70s, horror was changing. Horror was becoming much more exploitative and you know, gorier, more sexual. Not everything, but it was going in that direction. And even in the late 70s, we were starting to see a bit of a change from sort of the more theater of the mind, Hitchcock kind of movies. And Erwin Yablans wanted to make a movie like that. He wanted to do that. He wanted to make a low budget sort of horror movie that was more theater of the mind. These are his words. You know, he obviously wanted to do that, and Halloween came along. We'll set on Halloween, and want, you know, John Carpenter, because I liked Assault on Precinct 3, all that kind of stuff. I mean, you've heard the story many times before, but that was the intention. It was going to be a one and done. It was written to be a one and done. And like I've always said this. Michael Myers is not gone at the end of Halloween to set up a sequel. He was gone to bring the message and the moral of the movie home. You can't kill the boogeyman. Laurie's arc was complete. At the beginning of the movie, she didn't believe. At the end of the movie, it was the boogeyman. As a matter of fact, it was.
Is why didn't Michael get up and just go back inside the house and kill him?
Well, sure. But I just mean, but that's a, you know, but that's it, right? It was the boogeyman. As a matter of fact, it was. And that's what brought it all home. It was a 90-minute Twilight Zone Hitchcock episode. I mean, that's sort of kind of what it was. Not that Hitchcock did any Twilight Zones, but I just mean it was like a Twilight Zone episode or a Hitchcock movie. That's what it was. And nobody thought it was going to become this huge thing. And then it did. And now it's kind of like, well, okay, we did leave it where he's out there, so we'll, you know, do this thing or whatever. But yeah, fans, and it's not just with Halloween, it's with Star Wars, it's with Marvel, you know, I mean, just watch a Q&A with Mark Hamill. I mean, he calls Star Wars fans UPFs, ultra passionate fans. And he's talking about this kind of thing. He's talking about the, Mr. Hamill, so when you were on the set, there was this thing that happened. He doesn't fucking, no, he can talk like me. He can remember certain things. He's a great storyteller when it comes to the Star Wars films, but the fans remember far more than Mark Hamill ever did, you know, but that's who it's for. You're supposed to get crazy like that. We're supposed to get nerdy for this kind of stuff because that's who it's for. But that's why
fans,
you know,
can go back and rewatch it a million times over. Most actors, when you listen to them talk in interviews, they don't really watch their shit. You know what I mean? They don't. So we as fans can sit there and be like, you know, analyzing storylines and plot points and all this stuff like that. To act, this is a job.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, you know what? You're like, you know, if Jamie Lee Curtis isn't in a scene of a movie, she probably doesn't know what the fuck is going on, you know, throughout the rest of the movie because she's not involved in it. She's only aware of. I mean, obviously she's, you know, maybe she watches them during the premieres and stuff like that, but she's not there when she's not. You know, when she's not there to work, you know, so I mean, that's most actors. I mean, you know, I agree. David Lee Barron, $1.99 says, to our Lord and Savior, Tony Christ, here's some money. I love it. I love this guy. Yes, we are, if in case you didn't notice, Tony and I are deities. We are quite powerful. Oh no! Don't put that over my head. You're a non-believer. I'm a believer. I don't need that over my head.
Listen, if Jesus were alive today, I think he'd be a cool dude. I think he'd be rocking out watching two dudes and some bullshit. Cool dude. I'm just saying, Jesus would be
Unfortunately, there's just some radicals out there that make him not a cool dude.
No, but I'm just saying, if he were alive today, he'd be a two dudes and some bullshit fan. He'd be sitting there at home with his laptop on his knees, watching
eating
us.
Cheetos.
And yes, eating Cheetos. Yes, and maybe he's.
Speaking of Cheetos,
maybe he's watching us right now on his laptop.
Speaking of Cheetos,
I know I have to send you the cheesies. I know.
You gotta send me the cheesies, man.
I do. I totally do. I will.
Damn.
Daniel Hyrell sends in $1.99. Says, do you think Corey will have an OG looking mask? No. Judging by what we've seen, I think he's either got Michael's mask or he's got one similar to it. I don't know. Maybe Tots exists in this world.
I hope he's no. See, that's what I'm hoping. I hope it's Michael's mask.
Yeah,
because if it's a Tots thing,
no. I'm just. It looks like if that is Corey who pushes open the door and stabs the pillow and has got the picture, it looks like Myers' mask. That's what it looks like. Now the question then becomes, where does he get the jumpsuit? Is that Myers' jumpsuit? Did Corey murder a mechanic and get one or something? I don't know. So we shall see. We shall definitely see.
See you in a couple months.
Sweet tea. The tea is sweet tonight. Sends in $10, says, for the channel, my friends, be safe too. Thank you very much, Sweet Tea. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And then John Robertson sends in a very generous super chat of $20. Thank you, John. Says, hey guys, I got a quick question for both of you guys. If they were to ever reboot the franchise later and were to recast Loomis, who would be your preferred actor for the role, and what would you like them to bring to the role? Well, John, great question.
Well, if they went the
thoughts,
approach
Tony?
that Dave and I talked about, the 1950s noir style, Loomis wouldn't necessarily be a psychiatrist. He'd be
Correct.
a detective.
That's right.
So at that point, because we're talking about totally revamping, totally coming up with a new idea for Halloween and setting it in old Americana 1950s, the Age of Innocence, right?
That's right. The nuclear family,
the birth of rock and roll. Yep. So there's a lot you can play off there.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Instead of making Loomis the psychiatrist, he's more of a detective. I mean, really, you could, if you take that approach, you could almost have anybody, play the part. You could even have like a Robert Downey Jr. play that. You know what I mean? He could play a detective.
Yeah, if you're going the film,
as long as he doesn't go into the Sherlock Holmes.
Right. No, I agree.
I love him. I love him as Sherlock.
Yeah.
He's great.
No, I agree with you. If you're doing our idea, there's quite a few actors out there that you could have, because again, Tony and I, our idea is a reimagining of the story.
Yeah, and the reason, starting from scratch, reimagine, give us something new.
Right. And because while still sort of, paying honor and keeping the DNA there, but because I got to be honest with you, I mean, I'll watch it, of course, but I'm a Halloween fan. But I don't want them to end Halloween and then 3 years later they're making Halloween again. The story
starting
again.
All over,
so now
Judith Myers gets
killed. Little 6-year-old puts it's like again. But instead of 1978,
twice, basically,
with
exactly. Rob Zombies.
But instead of 1978, now it's like it's actually 1998. And they're just modernizing it. It's like, no, do something different. We have the story. It's like, I don't know. But it's a good question, man. I think that, but if you're talking about if you are talking about psychiatrist Loomis and this kind of thing, I don't know. There's quite a few actors out there that I think could have, it would need to be an actor that can bring the gravitas, and that all that really means is somebody who is, that brings a seriousness, a respect to the role, that you take seriously, and somebody who is a good actor, very good actor. So somebody like a,
hey,
I think he's too old.
Bald. I can do it.
You could. I think he's too old.
I met this.
Sorry, I was just going to say.
Child.
I think he's too old now, but maybe 20 years ago, I think Anthony Hopkins would have been a good Dr. Loomis, right? That's what I mean by gravitas.
Old, but yeah, I see.
Yeah, but 20 years ago, 25 years ago, maybe he's somebody that's got that gravitas, right? He's got that seriousness. He's a really good actor. You know what I mean? And he could bring that. So somebody like that, I think is who you'd be looking for.
In the same vein, too, it would have had to have been about 25 years ago. It actually probably would have been done during the time when the show was being made. But William Daniels, who plays Mr. Feeney, he's too old now. He's 95. But back in the early 90s, Feeney could have done it.
Yeah.
He has that in his voice too, even though, I know he's Knight Rider or Kit, from Knight Rider as well too, but he has a presence about himself. You know what I mean? The way William Daniels carries himself on screen, or even during the show Boy Meets World, he would have been at that time, during the early 90s, if they had done it then,
Yeah.
He would have been an interesting choice as Dr. Loomis.
Yeah. Yeah. Warren Armour here says Kevin Costner, not a bad choice. Again, somebody who's a really good actor, has some gravitas to him. Yeah. Yeah. It would have to be somebody, yeah, again, that has that seriousness, you know? Yeah. Wayne Gotke says Patrick Stewart as Loomis maybe 20 years ago. Yeah, you're on the right track. Ben Kingsley might even be able to do it now. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
But maybe. He might be a bit too old. Because Loomis was, I think he was like 59, like Donald Pleasance, I think was 58 or 9. Yeah. When he did it in that first movie. Not that you have to be the same age, but you guys are on the right track, right? You know, like that's what I mean. It's got to be somebody who, you know, it's not going to be, you know, I saw somebody say Ryan Reynolds. I think that was a joke, but to the point, that's what we're talking about, right? Not a Ryan Reynolds, you know, not if you're going to cast a name, if you're going to cast a star, somebody who's really well known, they got to be a really good actor, so we can get lost in that role, you know. Yeah, for sure. And there's a lot of actors out there that could.
Someone said Daniel Day-Lewis. I think that no. I mean, it'd be great, but he would never. I don't think he would ever.
I don't think he would. Yeah, I don't think so though.
He's very particular about. He's retired now too.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Scott Mariano sends in. I think that's how you say that. Sends in $9.99. Says, "Hey guys, did you notice on the poster the chin of the mask is skin colored? I did not. Did you have to brighten that image up to notice that?" To me, that maybe symbolizes.
I didn't even know they dropped the poster. The poster's out.
The poster's out. The official synopsis out. The poster's out. To me, that maybe symbolizes that someone other than Michael dons the mask in the movie, which seems to be the case. Maybe. I mean, that it could be that. It could be that. I don't know. I'd have to bring up the poster. I don't have the poster readily available in front of me, but I'd have to look at it again. But maybe. You never know.
Oh, I've seen it. Never mind. Oh, that's the poster.
Yeah. I thought for sure that they were going to, because Michael is on the left in the first one.
Like he's doing this. Aw.
Yeah, he does. He kind of looks like he's looking back going, or like, you know, the only thing that's,
oh, you're dying, Lori. Aw.
Yeah. The only thing that's missing is Michael putting his index finger to his lips going,
yeah,
you know, like he's being cheeky or, you know, bashful. Like he's being bashful.
Does look like
it kind of does, I admit. It's not a bad poster, and I think it will grow on me over the years, but I do think that Halloween 18 and Kills are far better posters. At least at first look, you know. And I thought for sure, and I'm not the only one that thought this, I thought for sure that because Michael is on the left in 18, he's on the right in Kills, that he would be front and center staring at us.
That's what I thought too. Like, this is it, the end. Here you are, bitches.
Exactly. Maybe another missed opportunity there, you know? Because it does look kind of strange that you have left, right, and then when you put the other one beside it, you have right again, and it's kind of, okay. I think it kind of looks weird, but anyway. Arthur Vega, I think, sends in $20, says, "Hey, Dave and Tony, I enjoy the show." Well, thanks. Appreciate that. Hoping Halloween Ends will be good. Random question. Did you guys see the trailer for Rob Zombie's The Munsters? Have a great day. We did, and I didn't like it. Did we see the trailer for Rob Zombie's The Munsters?
Oh.
Yeah, not a big fan of the trailer.
Really?
Yeah.
It was great. He's obviously done. I'm happy to see that he's kept the goofiness of what The Munsters was. The Munsters is one of my favorite television shows. Mm-hmm. I preferred it more over The Addams Family. I know there's Addams Family fans out there. Yeah, The Munsters is silly. It's a silly concept. And I like that he's taken the approach of the love story behind Herman and Lily and how they met and whatnot, because I was wondering, like, well, they've done a lot of Munster movies that have not done well. So I like the approach that he's taking as far as telling something new in the sense of the backstory of how they fell in love and, you know, all that fun stuff. But the campiness and the silliness was, I was like, well, shit, he really has kept to the tone of the original Munsters. I would have gone full on out and kept it in black and white. That's just me. I think colorizing it, I can see where people might not like that. I wish I could have sat down with him and tell him, like, dude, you've gone so far to recreate that the campy silliness of what the Munsters was on the TV show, go all out and do it in black and white. And I think people would even have warmed up to it that much more. Putting it in color, I just don't think the Munsters are meant to be seen in color. You know what I mean? He sort of did it with the theme song. So that's why at first he redid the theme song, the Munster TV show intro with his cast, and he did it in black and white. And I was like, okay, that at first I thought he was going down that road. Then when I saw the color, I'm like, I'm a big Munsters fan, so I'm gonna go see it. And I like Rob Zombie as well too, more his music than his movies. But I breathed a sigh of relief that it wasn't the trailer trash, Rob Zombie type movie that I honestly was worried about. I was like, I don't want to see that with the Munsters. That's not what the concept of this show was all about. So happy to see that it's in the style of the original TV show. I just think he should have kept it in black and white. Go all out.
So I hear what you're saying, and you're right. The Munsters is a campy, cheesy TV show. For me, the trailer didn't land. I'm glad to see, of course, that there were no, I'm going to crawl over there and skull fuck the shit out of you, bitch.
Right?
But what didn't work for me is I thought the production value was not very good, and I thought some of the mixing.
That's what I'm asking. Do you think if he'd done it or converted it to black and white, would that have changed it?
Possibly, but I also didn't think the acting was very good. And Sherry Moon Zombie just doesn't sell me on. No. It was a strange. I think what it was is, if this is intentional, and Rob Zombie said, no, the production value looks cheap and student film like on purpose. If that is on purpose, well, that's a creative choice, and we may not like it, and that's the way it is. But I think for a lot of us, myself included, I was expecting, in terms of production value, again, it's got to be cheesy, it's got to be campy, right? It's the Munsters, it has to be. I'm not expecting some serious thing, but I think many of us, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I know myself, I was expecting a production value like the 90s Addams Family films, where you look at it, you're like, oh, well, this is clearly a polished Hollywood movie. It's still cheesy and campy, and it's jokey, and it's funky, and it's fun, and whatever. But watching this, I feel like I'm watching a student production. In terms of the production value, some of the audio, I made a tweet where I said, did they have a boom operator and a sound to record us on set? Because there's a couple of times where it sounds like it's like the built-in microphone picking up their dialogue, and I'm like, is this is it? And I know I'm not alone. I think a lot of people were like, is it supposed to be like this? Like cheesy, campy. Yeah, we get that. Like, we get it's the Munsters, for God's sakes. But it was the production value that I think sort of surprised a lot of people. Now, to your point, if you were to put the movie in black and white, would that have helped? Probably. It probably would have helped, because now you're buying into that a bit more. But we'll wait and see the movie. I don't know
because if you go back and watch the original TV show and just some of the campy effects, what I mean, that were done in the original TV show that he brought into the movie, which I liked. Whether it was like Herman going away really fast in the car or something like that, with the kind of the Flintstone sound effect.
Yep, I remember what I'm talking about. I remember it.
And I liked that Zombie added those little cheesy moments. I mean, because that's what made the Munsters, the show, the TV show.
Right.
I would, like I said, I was surprised that it's like, well, for starters, the casting, I agree with you 100%. You're not going to get Yvonne, obviously, and what's his name who played Herman?
Ed. No.
I almost said Ed O'Neill.
No.
Bundy.
I know you're talking about, though. Sometimes dead is butter.
Fred Gwynn, who played Herman.
Yep.
It's not them. Obviously you're never going to get them.
Yeah.
The guy who's playing Grandpa. He is definitely trying to be a bit like Al Lewis. Did you get that vibe?
I think he was the strongest actor in the trailer.
Exactly. And I was like, okay, I like him. He's giving me the Al Lewis Grandpa vibes. I like you. I'm not a big fan. I mean, she looks great even now, but I loved looking at her in Rob Zombie's videos, music videos back in the day. Sherry Moon Zombie, very beautiful woman, but she's never. She can't act. I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick, but she can't act.
No, it looks like I'm watching her on. Yeah, it looks like she's acting.
I really wish that, because I know how much this was a passion project for him, because like he's a big fan of the show, like I am. I really wish he would have just sat down and said, "Look, babe, I love you, but I I want to get this right, and I think I'm going to, I think there were some better options out there to cast for Lily, to give you Yvonne." Type vibe.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
I'm not getting that with her. The dude he cast for Herman, he's all right. I mean, it is what it is, it's nothing it's not Fred Gwynn, obviously. Nope.
Well, we'll wait and see.
You could have shopped around.
Yeah.
Could have, I know he likes to play it close to the vest, and I know he likes to bring his friends in and shit like that. I get that. I'm wondering if Marilyn's going to pop up at all in this, and who or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is Eddie going to be a baby so that they're hoping for a sequel? The effort he's made to do this, I wish he would have just taken a beat and just said, I'm going to get this right. It might piss my wife off, but I'm gonna shop around and find the right Lily Munster.
I get you.
Find because like you said, the guy who's playing Grandpa, he's nailing it. I like him.
Great.
He's the only good thing that I'm liking. So other than the tonality that Zombie's done, that I can relax with, we'll see. We'll see. The movie comes out this year, right?
Yeah, but I think it's just going straight to streaming or to Netflix or something. Yeah.
What does that tell you? Not that that's a bad thing.
No. But I hear you. But it might have always been the case. That might have always been the case. Let's see here. We got that was the Rob's Monsters. We got Paul B sends in $4.99, says there is another alleged test screening tomorrow in Las Vegas. Is this concerning for more possible leaks? That's one too many test screenings. I think you're trying to ask. I haven't heard anything about that, but it's entirely possible that there's another one happening tomorrow. It's possible. Anytime there is a test screening, that it opens the doors to leaks. So yes, if it is true, be prepared that you may, or if you like to scroll the Reddit forums and you go searching for that kind of stuff, then you may stumble upon some information. But I don't know. I'm not sure if there is one or not. I haven't heard, but there could be.
When does the Tim Burton's Wednesday Addams? I am interested in that.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Because as much
is that
as
the one with what's her face from Scream?
Well, Ortega.
Ortega,
right? She's playing Wednesday, and I know Christina Ricci's coming back. It's a nice little wink and nod. But if she's not coming back as Wednesday, then I'm like, I feel like I'm being robbed, man, because to me she is Wednesday.
Well, I don't think she would be, because Ortega's playing Wednesday, so maybe she's just like.
No, I know that. I'm just saying, like, I almost, it's going to be hard for me to see her in a Addams Family anything and not being Wednesday Addams.
I got you.
For me, she will always be, even though I am a fan of the Addams Family movies. I really like the first movie. I love the second movie's all right. But the first one's fucking great. One of my favorite go-to Halloween movies every October. I love watching the original Addams Family. Second one, it's a mood thing for me if I want to watch it or not.
Sure.
More so than the TV show. Like I watch the TV show once in a while, the old black and white one. But yeah, Christina Ricci, man, shit, she will always be my Wednesday Addams. Like I was bummed to hear that she was in this, but I don't want to like totally jump the gun on it, because I trust it's Tim Burton.
Yeah.
I trust him.
I understand.
Which leads me to my next question. Because I'm so out of the loop on shit with so much work that I'm doing. Tim Burton is doing a second Beetlejuice, and Johnny Depp is joining the party.
I haven't heard anything about that.
Okay.
I think that would be all over the place if that were true.
I didn't know if that was true or if that's bullshit.
I don't think so. Like I haven't heard anything about that. That would be all over the place.
Okay, because I heard things that he was in talks or something to play a character in not Beetlejuice, Obviously that would be Keaton and Winona Ryder for the main two leads. But I heard something about, that
haven't heard anything about that.
So it's bullshit. Okay.
It could be, yeah. Adam Miles sends in $10 and says, hey fellas, if Corey is in fact wearing Michael's mask, how would you predict he gets it? I would really hate to see Corey be the one to kill Michael and then take the mask. Well, it's going to happen a couple of ways, right? It's going to happen either Corey finds Michael and Michael is sleeping and he takes the mask, or Corey finds Michael or finds where Michael's been hiding and Michael's not there. I don't know, maybe he's taking a shit around the corner or something. I don't know. And the mask is lying there and he takes the mask, or he kills Michael and takes the mask. I'm not saying he does. I'm just saying that's another option. Or he gets into a tussle with him or whatever. And I don't know. There's many different ways that he could take it. And then maybe Michael comes looking for it and then takes the mask back and puts it on, and it's like, take my fucking mask, you piece of shit. Maybe that's what lures Michael out of hiding, is he goes after that kid because he took his fucking mask. I mean, that could be something right there too, right? So, yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Tony?
Could be. I don't know.
Easy peasy. I get you.
Easy peasy.
Chris Parrish sends in $1.99 and says, just tuning in, Rocky, my son. He says good night. Well, excuse me, rocking my son. He says good night. Not Rocky. Rocking my son to bed. He says good night. Good night, little child. Good night. Thanks for the $1.99 super chat, Chris. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Sinclair Crypto sends in $4.99, says Sean Connery or Burt Reynolds would have been a great Loomis. Yeah, maybe. Burt, I don't know about...
Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah, Burt, I don't know about Burt. Connery, maybe. Because I really liked Connery in a little film in 1994 called Just Cause with Lawrence Fishburne. You guys seen that? He was... Connery, I could see. Reynolds? I don't know. What do you think, Tony? Could you see Connery or Reynolds as Loomis back in the day?
Sure, why not? Well,
there you have it, folks.
Yeah.
Oh, short and sweet.
Keep my answers short and sweet now.
Short and sweet.
The complaint department's firing up in the chat room as always.
What complaint? What complaint? Why is there a complaint? Is there somebody complaining about what you've said?
What else did they do?
Is there somebody complaining? Okay, well, I don't see it because I'm looking at the super chats. But let me just say, if there's somebody complaining about what you said, these are our opinions. If you do not agree, you are allowed to disagree. You're allowed to disagree, but just don't be, and I'm not saying anybody is because I haven't seen, but just don't be a dick about it. You're allowed to say, hey man, that's cool, Tony, but I disagree. Here's my thoughts. That's cool. You're allowed to say, hey Dave, that's cool, but I kind of disagree, because of this. That's cool. That's what makes the world go round, man. That's awesome. But just don't be a fucking dick about it. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, too late for that. Anyways, moving on.
Let me see here. Well, hopefully somebody's not being a dick. Because if I see anybody being a dick, get the fuck out of here. Like, stop it. Stop being a dick. Sinclair Crypto. I got that one. And then we've got Jace Bale sends in $9.99. Says, have a great week, guys. Continued thanks for the content. Thank you, Jace. I appreciate that. Movie Chat and More says, sends in £5. Says, Dave, I've gone into business for myself. I'm looking for a director of sales, shower curtain ring division. Are you interested? Possibly. If it's the shower curtain ring division specifically, Richard, I might be interested. But I need a little book that I can flip through with all those little shower curtain rings. I need that little book that I can flip through. That's what I'm going for. I love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, man. Fucking great movie. Joseph Aaron sends in $5. Says, "Hey guys, if Michael and Laurie were brother and sister in these movies, they'd have to bring in Vin Diesel to talk the importance of family to make it work."
Family.
Can you imagine?
I've got family.
What would you do? What would you do, Tony, if you found out that Vin Diesel was in Halloween Ends, but in like an unknown role yet?
So that he looks over at Michael and he's like, "I live my life a quarter of a mile."
That's it. That's it.
When it turns green, I'm going for it.
Can you imagine if Vin Diesel was the copycat killer in Halloween Ends?
family, man.
They keep it in the fam. He's there. And then the big departure, the big weird is you find out that the Fast and Furious franchise is canon with Halloween. Yes. And at the very end, they all show up in their cars and everything. And it is the Fast and Furious family that takes down Michael Myers. That's what ends up happening. Can you imagine? That would be dog shit. That would. Jonathan Ball sends in $5. Says, Dave, Tony, the Slaughtered Lamb movie podcast, the Slaughtered Lamb podcast thing, great content. If they have Roy Burns copycat, Friday the 13th 5 deserves credit. The new poster, Michael Myers looks like the big alien in Resurrection. Yeah, I guess he does a little bit. Friday the 13th. Yeah, a little bit.
I didn't think of that. Yeah. He just looks like we said earlier, like he's trying to be cute.
Yeah, he's like
it's like he posted a selfie of himself and he's captioned it, felt cute, might delete later.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
There you go. Hey, Slaughtered Lamb is still up. They said it's going straight to Netflix in reference to the Munsters. So there you go. Thank you for that confirmation, Darren. Let me see here. Deedly. Oh, did I get all the super chats? Did I get? Oh, wait. Well, I think one just came in as I said that. Amazing. Let me get it here. Brendan Gravel, I think it's Grayville, sends in a $9.99, says, the window seems like an important and frequent, i.e. cops conversation in flashback and why Karen died, but overlooked theme when talking about the last chapter, or will that ruin the mystery of Myers? Well, we don't know a lot, right? We're speculating, on these rumors that are out there that may have some weight to them because now a character by the name of Corey has been confirmed and it is played by the actor that was just rumor at first. So that's why I think there's at the very least, maybe we should pay attention to some of these things. Doesn't mean all of it's going to be true. As I often say, the truth sometimes lies in the middle with these things. So we don't know a lot. So there probably is there's like a 90-minute movie there that maybe they will address that radio tower that nobody's talking about anymore. Maybe they will address Michael looking out his window. It would feel strange if they didn't at least go back to that and give some sort of maybe hypothetical thing. I'm not sure. But I do not want to know, and I think, Tony, you're on board with this. You don't want Michael to speak, and you don't want to know why he's the way he is, correct?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, like you're like you want it to end with the mystery being intact.
Yeah, like I no. God, no.
Wouldn't that be awful? Say something. Say something.
Now he just said bitch.
Bitch. He just said bitch. Mike, okay, for those of you that may not have noticed.
Michael's one and only line in the franchise, bitch.
For those of you that may not have noticed, Tony is not only hoping, he is praying.
I am
for
praying
Laurie
to
Strode's
the porcelain god.
Okay. Yes.
I am putting hands on all Bibles that I own. Okay, that Laurie Strode not only dies by Michael's hands, but dies in the most epic way that I'm screaming so loud that in that moment of my scream, everyone who's watching this stream tonight or post stream afterwards, everyone in that moment's gonna be like, oh, Tony's happy.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. If Laurie goes out with I can see Tony's face right now. Laurie goes out the way Sartain went out with a boot stomp.
Oh my God. I wouldn't be doing the show for like 2 weeks because I'd lose my vocal cords.
God. You'd be like, can you imagine? He looks down and she's just like, trick or treat. Mother and Laura and Michael just stomps on her face and Laurie Strode's head explodes like mush, like Sartain. Oh my God.
Because I felt so cheated in Resurrection because that was just so lame. That was so
well, the official synopsis. Have you read the official synopsis, by the way?
No, I've done like I did with Kills. I'm going into it knowing, reading, like not watching videos, not reading stories. I did watch the teaser. I will probably watch because it's the end. You know what I mean? I like with Kills. I only watched the teaser. I didn't watch the because we'll probably do a show on when the full trailer.
For sure.
But anything else, I've seen a couple pictures, like you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
We've talked about it, like, but that's really it.
Well, here's the official synopsis. It says 4 years after the events of last year's Halloween Kills, Lori is living with her granddaughter Allison and is finishing writing her memoir. Michael Myers hasn't been seen since his last brutal rampage. Lori, after allowing the specter, I always love that. I love that choice of word. Allowing the specter of Michael to determine and drive her reality for decades, has decided to liberate herself from fear and rage and embrace life, which is why she's looking healthier and sort of, more with it. But when a young man, Corey Cunningham, is accused of killing a boy he was babysitting.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm thinking when you say that, I'm thinking of Richie Cunningham from Happy Days.
Well, hey, I mean, maybe he becomes the Fonz. I don't know. When a young man, Corey Cunningham, is accused of killing a boy he was babysitting, it ignites a cascade. It ignites a cascade of violence and terror that will force Lori to finally confront the evil she can't control once and for all. So this tells me that Lori is being brought out of her little, psychotic retirement.
Again.
Yes, and maybe she dresses up. Yeah, again and again. Well, yes, that is true.
How many times does she need to be brought out of something?
That would have total merit if all those movies were connected. But I do understand what you're saying. So maybe, like I said, if we go back to the other screen here, let me just go to the other screen. If we go back to, hang on a second. Why is that not working? There we go. If we go back to the other screen here and we go back to, where's Lori? There she is right there. It looks like she's dressed as, cosplay. She's wearing the Trick or Treat Studios Laurie Strode outfit. I'm just saying, maybe this is deliberate. She dresses up as herself because she's like, I need Michael to recognize me. This is it. I don't know. Or is it just a coincidence? I mean, you know what? I wouldn't be thinking it was deliberate if that fucking pumpkin wasn't in the background. But I almost feel like, and again, maybe it's just David Gordon Green and company just having fun.
Is she also doing it because she, this kid has become so obsessed that she's recreating what originally happened back in 1978 for this kid? And I don't know.
No, Tony, you could be onto something there.
You know what I mean? Like maybe, maybe this kid becomes so obsessed with it that she's like, you know what, motherfucker, if you like it that much, come fuck around and find out.
It's almost like I made a tweet about this, and I know some people probably laughed at it, and that's fine. I get it. I totally get it. But and I'm not saying this is what's happening, but I made a tweet about this because I thought it was kind of interesting. What if she's fucking Shutter Island role playing? I'm not saying that she is, Leonardo DiCaprio, but what if
I got
Corey, right? She's role playing. Now, mind you, maybe it goes a bit further and maybe there's nothing in the gun, or maybe there is, and she fucking shoots Michael. Like Darren from the Slaughtered Lamb said, maybe this is bait. Maybe she dresses up hoping Michael returns. It's not Michael, it's Corey. She thinks it's Michael. Oh my God. Michael comes back because he's like, where's my fucking mask? He comes back for the mask, not for Lori, but for the mask. And he gets the mask, he puts it on, and then boom, the final showdown begins. Maybe that's what's going on.
Just as long as when she blows him away and he's on the ground and she takes the mask off and he's like, he lets out a Topanga and dies.
Maybe. I don't know. But there's, like we've often said, I mean, there's a lot of interesting theories that are out there and speculation. But for those that may think that there's nothing to this, again, I know I've said this a lot tonight, but I will say it again because I do think it's important. It wasn't too long ago that part of the rumors were there's a character played by this actor and he plays Corey in the movie. And, you know, that used to be part of the rumors. Well, now we know it's true.
It's true.
So now it's like, whoa. So if that part of the rumor was true, all this other stuff about, you know, being obsessed or possessed or copycats or whatever, may be true as well. And then we see the teaser and you got Michael with all his fingers in a pinky ring. I'm just saying, where there's smoke, you know how that, you know, the rest of that sentence finishes. So, but we will know for certain once we see maybe another trailer or the movie. But it's fascinating to talk about. It's fascinating to talk about because it is so different, and it is such a departure from what we were all probably expecting. That's why it's interesting to me, because it actually really, if it is true, that is different. That is kind of weird. That is a departure. So how do we Halloween fans feel about it? And maybe Blumhouse or somebody from Blumhouse is watching this stream right now, or they've watched my videos, or they've watched other people's videos to gauge, to kind of say, hey, how's it? Yeah, we know what the test screenings are, but now let's watch those fucking Halloween nerds on YouTube and see what, you know, see what they're saying. Yeah. I mean, and kind of how they feel about it. It's likely too late to, it's too late to shoot the, you know, to change the movie. But maybe they kind of want to gauge what to expect, maybe brace for possible impact. I don't know, but it's fascinating.
Well, that's the cool thing about doing these videos. Obviously, for the most part, when we speculate, when we guess, sometimes we might be right. A lot of times we're not right.
Very
you know
true.
what I mean?
Yep.
And that's what these videos are intended for. They're, you know what I mean?
It's to start the conversation.
It's to start the conversation. It's to have fun with it. Obviously, come October, we're 99.9% sure going to be having maybe a very much different conversation, or we're on the right track of, even though we're maybe not be getting it 100% right, but we're on the right path of that. This is a total fucking bomb shit show, or creative, gutsy, paid off. That's really it. There's no, that's the thing with this decision. And it's why I don't know why they're doing this, because you can't land in the middle with this. It is either going to be total bomb in a shit show, or the creative decision is going to pay off and everyone's gonna be like, all right, it was really good. So I you know, sometimes, you know, when you make a movie or you make something, or you're creating something, I've always tried to take the approach, whether it's with a mix I'm creating or a photo I'm creating, try to land in the middle. You're not going to please everybody, but it's not a total fucking shit show either. You know, if you land in the middle, like you said, you know, a couple hours ago about 10 and 2, you come gliding in, you're landing right in the middle. You're in a safe area. There's no safe ground for this movie. It's shit or good.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's either going to work or it's not, and it could be divisive. And no,
I don't think this is going to be divisive. I think this.
Well, divisive just means some people are going to like it, some people aren't. But
some people will like it, like in the sense of like Halloween. They like Halloween 5 and 6, like the 1%.
Nah, that's true. Maybe it won't be. Listen, Tony, maybe you're right. Maybe it won't be. Maybe it's going to be either yay or nay. But as I said in a tweet a month or so ago, I said, they don't insult the intelligence of Halloween fans. Now, what do I mean by that? It simply means don't do something crazy that just doesn't make sense. Now, again, we haven't seen the movie yet, but just bring it in. 10 and 2, bring it in. That doesn't mean you deliver when I say safe, I don't mean predictably safe. I just mean familiar. Bring something in that is familiar to us. You know, it can still have some twists and turns, and, you know, but it's familiar. It's a Halloween movie at its core. You know, don't, and that's what I mean by not now. If you wanted to do that, you should have done that with 18 and ride or die, whether it, you know, worked or not. And if it worked, great, you get sequels. If it doesn't, well, you know, you got one movie. But now it just feels like, you said, Tony, it feels almost like, why are we doing this now? If it is in fact all true, we don't know. Okay, let's get these final super chats here because it's coming up on.
Yes, I got work to do.
Perfect. Yeah, it's over 2 hours now. Okay, Keith V or Keith 5 sends in $4.99. Thank you, Keith. Appreciate that. And then another one here from King Shocky, maybe, sends in $5. It says, do you guys think they could satisfyingly end this story without killing off Michael? I do, but I think they would have to connect it to the ending of the original movie. So there's like they bring it home in sort of a way that
like they think he's dead, but then they go to look to see he's gone.
Yeah, but then that's
too on the nose.
Yeah, it might be too loose because we've been there, done that. But just something that, again, I've always said. I know my viewers are probably sick and tired of me saying it, but it ends on a question, like a philosophical note. Maybe he's dead, maybe he isn't, we don't know, but it just really ends on that note of what is evil and all that kind of stuff. I just think that's the way to do it. I don't know if it would be satisfying. Well, it would be for some people who want Michael to just go on and on and on, like this version of Michael to go on and on. They want more sequels with Allison and all that kind of stuff. Sure. But for me, if it ends on some silly cliffhanger, like if it ends on some silly cliffhanger or his eyes open or whatever, or he just walks off into the darkness, I think it would be quite unsatisfying. I personally hope they both die, but judging by the what we've been reading, I think only one of them will live, and it will likely probably be Laurie. But I know.
Oh, what I was gonna say. I mean, it's a teaser, so it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
I was a little disappointed that I only got one shot of my girl, Allison. That obviously doesn't mean anything. I was really hoping, as I said when we watched Kills.
Oh, there were two shots. She stepped out of the car, and then I think there was one of her screaming or something.
But you don't.
Yeah.
Well, the screaming shot is of her from Kills, right? No. From 2018.
Oh,
right?
Is it?
Isn't that? Yeah, I think the screaming shot of her.
Oh, I thought it was new.
When she's looking at her boy at the fence hanging dead.
You could be right. Anyway, it's neither here nor there.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Because what I was saying after we had watched Kills, one of the things that I have enjoyed most about this run is watching her arc. And I was really hoping that she would become more the anchor in the, I understand Jamie Lee Curtis will always be the heart and soul of this. But I was really hoping that there was going to be somewhat of a passing of the torch moment, that Allison's character really would begin. And I'm still hoping for that because it's only a teaser. So we have no idea how much screen time and what her story is going to be in this movie. I can't assume too much off of a 1 and 16-second teaser.
Right.
So I'm still hoping for that. And I want to see her arc land strong. Because she's been the one, if I can say, if there's been one good consistent thing from 2018 through Kills and hopefully through Ends, is her character and Andy, whatever her last name
Matichek.
is. Matichek. That's the one good thing that I've enjoyed the most watching. Right. And I hope that they do her character justice in this final
I hope so too.
installment. Yeah. I hope she doesn't get like pigeonholed and it becomes all about Laurie. You know what I mean? Because it's like you're writing because to me, when you're looking at the first two films, it's almost like you are writing it for her character, for the baton to be passed to Allison, and Allison is the new final girl, sort of, in this last movie. If it flips back and the momentum shifts back to Laurie and it's less Allison, I'm going to be pissed. I'm gonna be so pissed. I'm like, not another fucking Laurie Strode center-based fucking movie.
Yeah.
That I've got like 15 million in this fucking franchise of.
Yeah.
Not literally 15 million.
No, I understand totally. Last super chat here because we got to go. Keith V sends in a $1.99, says, I think the first scene is a promo pic of her memoir On the cover of her book, it's Laurie pointing a gun at people.
That's her.
Maybe
that's her photo shoot.
That's her photo shoot. Yeah. That'd be hilarious. That would be hilarious. Well, listen, folks, we got to take off here. We appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. Comment below and let us know your thoughts about everything Tony and I talked about here today. I want to thank, of course, my great moderators, Frank Riker, Tap of the Short, Darren Sands, and Chris Baber. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you to all the super chat questions that came in. Obviously, when it's a big stream, we had about 450 people in here. A lot of super chats come in, and obviously we have to answer those first, so we can't get to some of the non-super ones. But hey, there's always going to be more streams. There's always going to be more chances to have your question answered, so do not give up in doing that. Tony, any last things you want to say, man?
No, this was fun. Glad we dived deep, and I finally got a chance to watch the trailer a bit more and see some of the shit that I missed out in the last week. And only less than 2 months, right? A month and a half?
No, two and a half months, maybe, or something like that. Something like that. I think it's like, two and a half months.
We're getting there. Yeah.
We're getting there. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. All right, Tony and I will be back next Monday night at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time for episode 161. If you want to follow Tony on social media, right below his image, right over there, Anthony Michael Pix, Pixx, and Anthony Michael Mix, Mixx. And of course,
and Facebook now, but Facebook will be selective.
Facebook will be selective. There you go. There's my Instagram and Twitter below. My Facebook is not there. I really should put my Facebook there. My Facebook is Many Things Dave McRae, but all my links are in the description. Check them out until your heart's content, and when your heart is content, check them out again. All right, folks, have a great rest of your week, and Tony and I will talk to you soon. Cheers.